how healing became the new hustle. So today I want to talk a little bit about how the whole journey of healing, being on our healing journey, at the end of the day actually keeps us stuck and it keeps us disempowered. Disclaimer, I'm not saying that certain modalities or certain healing methods are not good for a reason and they're not helpful. However, there comes a point where we need to integrate these learnings and to look at what we've healed and what we've learned from this journey and go beyond. So it's a shift of perspective. So just a short disclaimer before I go into detail. Everything I'm saying here is not against the healing industry and it's not against all the modalities that somehow started flourishing in this new age spiritual world. It's not against them. I'm just saying it's time to go further. It's time to broaden our consciousness. It's time to integrate all the beautiful things that we've learned, that we've gone through, and to really embody this healing, because healing, the word healing, it comes from the word whole. So when we say healing, what we actually mean is it's a journey back to wholeness. So this is why I also like to say this, it's actually not a healing journey, it's a wholing journey. It's going from healing to wholing. And I would like to start by our birth. So when we are born, we are actually so pure, we are so whole. And after a while, we experience life, we go through certain traumas, and we somehow struggle with this physical body. And it's also the period where we really start having we get implemented a lot of limiting beliefs, like things like, I can give you an example from my personal life. I, for example, grew up mainly without a father. And one of my main limiting beliefs had been that without a father, I'm missing protection. I'm missing confidence. And why this is true to a certain extent, it's true to the extent that as a small kid, as a small girl, I would have definitely needed the father figure. And the father figure at the end, what does he represent? He represents protection, right? He represents stability. So throughout my adult journey, and especially when I started being on my healing journey, this was kind of the main theme I was working on. I was always like, okay, I need to heal my father wound. I need to heal my father wound. And I'm sure many of you can relate to that. Many of you can relate to having a father wound, a mother wound, a parent wound, and depending on what the wound is, there are certain topics we need to work on. And also I've been on this journey for a long time, thinking, okay, I somehow need to heal this father wound. And I went from healing session to healing session and from one experience to the other. And while they were all somehow helping me and they were all giving me somehow the feeling that I've progressed, what I didn't do was to truly integrate the learnings, because actually what a healing journey is supposed to do, for example, if you go to a family constellation workshop, so family constellation, for the ones who are not familiar with it, it's a method, if you want to call it like that, where you work not only with you as an individual person, but really with your entire system, family system. So with parents and grandparents and friends and family, like everyone who is part of your system has been part of your system. And we start resolving things not only on a personal level, but really on a system level, because oftentimes what has for example, been experienced by your mother or by your father could also still influence your system. So sometimes we might carry things that are actually not ours to carry, but might have been part of the family system that we were born into. So, for example, when I went to one of these family constellations, what they do is they really try to resolve that issue, and they try to resolve that. For example, in my case, that to first of all receive the awareness that yes, okay, there was something missing, especially when I was a small kid. There was a certain stability, a certain protection missing, but then it's being resolved through these constellations. So actually, you should go out of these workshops and integrate that. The intention of these experiences is to help you remember that ultimately you are whole. Ultimately, they try to bring you a step closer to your own innate wholeness. However, the issue that I often see and that I also went through is that somehow it strengthened the belief that yes, I have a father issue. So even though somehow the workshop was there to resolve my father issue, it somehow at the same time strengthened the belief that yes, see, also in this workshop, it was shown that I have a father issue. And here now comes the important thing to do. What to do after these sessions, what to do after these workshops is to integrate. And I think this is what many people, including me, for a long time didn't do enough. And what do I mean with integration? It means settling in, like letting the system come back to its wholeness, which sometimes takes time, and integrate that kind of new awareness by just sitting with it and being with yourself, and also by working on the fact that you are, focusing on this topic not from the perspective of, oh yeah, I have a father issue, I should do something else. No, you should be like, okay, now I have a broader awareness of why maybe certain things in my life went this way, or why I felt maybe certain things in this or that way. I have this awareness now, but through this awareness, I can now understand what is my limiting belief. And in my case, my limiting belief is that I have a father issue. And I know this sounds now a little bit complicated, but it really is that. For me, these workshops are not here to show you what needs to be fixed. This is what keeps you stuck in that healing journey, because if you look at it from that way, you somehow, if you look at it from, I have a father issue, which is, based in my childhood, then you will forever chase that, and you will forever be like, yeah, I grew up, you're in this victim mode of, I grew up without a father, so I will somehow forever have a wound here. Yeah, so this is the stuckness perspective, and it's like running from one workshop to another, and one experience and whatever, one person to another. The other perspective that we can take, which is aligned with, let's say, the vision that I have, which is aligned with this new level of consciousness, which I call meta-consciousness, which is the consciousness of looking at things from a wholeness perspective, rather than from a I am broken, I need to be fixed perspective. So from a wholeness perspective, what you can take from such workshops is, okay, there was obviously something in my life, but at the same time, I can take this and I can see now, oh, okay, my limiting belief is that I have a father issue. And yes, there might have been, of course, also things in my life that happened I mean, it's also a fact, of course, that I did grow up without a father. However, some people grow up without a father and they don't have the issues that I have, You see what I mean? So just because you grew up without a father, it doesn't mean yet that you have a father wound. So it's just us trying to make sense of our shortcomings and then being like, okay, this is a father wound that I have. I have this father wound, so I need to fix it. But actually, it's not. We should not take it as a fact. We should take it as a limiting belief. And this limiting belief, I can let go. From a point of wholeness, I can let go. And I can meditate and go within and feel into the Mona, because there are these infinite realities, there are these infinite dimensions that exist, there are these infinite versions of Mona. And there is a Mona that grew up without a father, but does not have a father wound or does not experience this so-called father wound issues, of low self-esteem or whatever, even though without having to, go back in time and change my childhood. It's simply about me realizing, okay, this is a limiting belief I can work on. So now I tune into the version of myself that is whole even though she grew up without a father. And this is where these two paths start differentiating. This is what I mean when I say integration. It's accepting what was. It's accepting that there was a time without a father. It's accepting that, this might have had an effect on me. But at the same time, it's realizing this is just giving me an opportunity to now connect back to my wholeness and be like, okay, this is a limiting belief. I can work on that. I can work with that. And I can tune into a dimension. I can tune into a version of myself where I do feel protected, where I do feel safe, where I am a Mona who feels safe even without having grown up with a father. And this is ultimately the perspective change. It's literally a perspective change that we need to do when we go from healing, being stuck on that healing journey, this never-ending healing journey, to wholeness, reconnecting to the wholeness. And in order to reconnect to the wholeness, all we need to do is shift our perspective. It's shifting our perspective. And everything that has to do with these wounds is it just shows us where we still need to work on our beliefs, so that these are these beliefs that somehow stand in the way of really feeling our wholeness, and we can work with them. And it's good that we have these workshops that make us aware of them, so we know, okay, this is where this limiting belief comes from, so I can work with that and I can reconnect to my wholeness, because the wholeness has always existed. The healing journey is endless. So you choose. Do you want to make an end to your healing journey and reconnect to your wholeness?